area that is uniquely situated on the most cross-border in the continental United States. You have these nations who have been flooding to the United States, which is shaping the face of the U.S. In this mid-city area, we have over 80 different languages just in one zip code alone. The nations are here. A prophet by the name of Martin Luther King said that 11 a.m. on Sunday morning is the most segregated hour in our country. Within this church, you'll actually see different tongues and tribes and nations who otherwise would be segregated come together as one beautiful family, as one beautiful community. We were particularly drawn to this mid-city community. On one side of the street, on the southern side of El Cajon Boulevard, you have an incredibly needy inner-city community. The sex trafficking industry is a significant problem. The gang problem is really difficult. Of course, there's the drug addiction issues. As we looked at this neighborhood, we just thought, wow, what an amazingly rich and diverse area where just on the other side of the street, and you have some of the most affluent professional communities in all of San Diego. And so we set off saying, Jesus, we want you to show up to bring together people who otherwise would have nothing to do with each other. But yet, the call of the gospel brings them together and begins to bridge the racial barriers, the class barriers, and all the other barriers that are separating this community. And so our vision here in the San Diego-Tijuana area is to be a part of igniting a church planting movement that'll so fill the region of San Diego and Tijuana with the gospel that it'll renew it in every way, socially, spiritually, and culturally.
Mi sueño más grande, mi visión más grande es que todos nosotros en Harbor podamos y experimentemos la misma pasión, el mismo ardor por la gente de nuestras comunidades, no solamente los latinos, pero también asiáticos, afroamericanos y también la comunidad anglo. Y nosotros tenemos ahora mismo, yo creo que este es el reto más grande que tenemos, cómo nosotros podemos realmente traer esperanza integral, justicia, misericordia, el evangelio, el reino de Dios a la comunidad de City Heights.
We can give money to an urban neighborhood, but the difference between that and actually incarnating in a neighborhood is very different, because there's needs that you might meet on the surface, but without the community being able to take ownership of their community transformation, it creates dependency almost upon the charity of others. So I've really been encouraged by watching how Harbor's been about trying to empower leaders in our neighborhood.
Creo que trabajar con Harbor es una muy buena oportunidad para poder alcanzar a la gente, y Dios puede levantar líderes.
Jesus' love is holistic, and so we think our love as a church should be too, as we love our community. Indigenous leaders need to be raised up and equipped in our community and given a vision of the kingdom and developed into disciples who bring long-term and sustainable impact.
We've just seen God open doors for children's ministry and youth ministry to happen in our church. They've really begun to create community among themselves and begin to really find healing through Christ. The brokenness in the homes and the families, and the need for these youth to have role models and examples of hope and of purpose. That's what matters. That's the work we're doing and what gives me hope.
San Diego State has 34,000 students, and God's Spirit is moving on the campus. InterVarsity's vision is to develop world changers. We want to see people that go out and change and transform the world. This past summer, InterVarsity and Harbor Church partnered to do the San Diego Urban Project. The Urban Project students lived in City Heights, worked with kids, and were really affected and changed. And Harbor played a huge part in what we did, helping us be connected in the city. And one thing that I love that one of the students said was, the Urban Project helped me think about how I want to live the rest of my life.
We're seeing people who were formerly involved in gangs coming to church, people who have been involved in families of prostitution and having their life transformed, getting involved, experiencing Christ.
I'm talking about a personal relationship that was developed on a street corner with a pistol in my hand, dying from crack cocaine addiction, ready to die. I don't live that way any longer. See, because he lives, I can face tomorrow. And I thank you, Jesus. I thank you, Jesus, for living in my life. Thank you.
Mi nombre es Jesús. Crecí con su rechazo y yo también sintiendo odio, resentimiento, dolor. Y este momento soy feliz porque tengo a Jesús. Amén. No estoy sola.
Race divides, culture divides, and class divides. But we're convinced, if Jesus shows up, that he has something different in mind. And he says one day, every tongue, every tribe, and every nation will be gathered together around the throne, worshiping him. If that's what it's going to look like one day, then why not now?